Well, greetings, hello, and welcome back. Episode number 12, I'm Imperial Jedi. Appreciate you being here. Fun episode on the docket today, too. We're actually going to be introducing the first of our little fisheries. Got some fishing ships going. Maybe a little bit of terraforming on the water's edge. Kind of a fun thing coming at you. I do also want to just do a smidgen of zoning to start us off in our high-density area over here. Just get a little bit more of our population. And I've just been kind of thinking a lot about what we're going to do in this spot here. I kind of have a really cool thought of how to tie it all together. You'll see it start to take shape when we start to do the terraforming over here. But I'll just need a little bit of help from you guys in terms of like what we should be doing. I think I know what to do, but I kind of want a little bit of advice from you guys. So you'll kind of see. I'll ask a couple questions. Just drop me a thought in the comments. You know, this would be kind of like pertaining to this. Maybe I'll ask now. Sure. Okay. All right. Here we go. Let's start it now. Why not? Right. I'll forget later. So my thought, right, is the waterfront is very, very tall. If you think about it, like the height of the shoreline kind of thing. So when we put our harbor pieces in here, like this is insane. Like how do the boats really get to the harbor, right? So we're going to terraform quite a bit. And we're going to kind of have like a fun, like layered kind of like slalom, plateaued kind of fun approach to get to the harbor, right? And that kind of ties in slightly with this, right? We've got the sunken highway over here relative to everything else. So I think what we could do is push the earth all the way, the whole way along the waterfront here. This will cost millions. This will be a progressive thing, right? We can turn this into a longer bridge. So it bridges over our little canyon here now. And we can run a rail corridor along our highway, reconnect all this up finally. And then this can serve the industry. And then this is the question I was going to ask you guys, right? Is do we build a highway interchange out of this? So do we come across here, interchange, and then go to the harbor? Or does this one, this is kind of a two-ended question here, does this one just continue without meeting this highway? And then go to the industry. And then the follow-up question, right, is does this stay a trumpet, which means just the three ways going into the city, or do we make this into a four-way? And if we make this into a four-way, that means that this one would probably not have to have a highway connection. So I'm sorry for making this the most complicated question imaginable, but it's like, should this be the four-way? Or should this just be the highway connection and that stay a three-way? I guess that's kind of my question there. I'm so sorry. That took like 7 minutes to get that out, right? But let me know in the comments. Oh my god, I hope I explained that properly. Well, probably lost half of you. If you're still sticking around, let's build. Let's have some fun here. Okay, so I do want to do some fishing stuff. Let's actually start by cleaning up our water. Otherwise, we're not going to fish in this. So I want to switch over to the inland eco. Yeah, these things here, the inland eco water treatment. And these are from the Sunset Harbour DLC. We have a lot of pollution over here. I'm just going to add to it just temporarily. We know the zone's not going to stay. I'm going to have to put down 4 of these for them to match the same output as the 2 pipes that we're about to remove. Yeah, just so they're not like super doubled up, it doesn't look too repetitive, I'm going to move these ones slightly over. But this zone's just temporary. These things look awesome, by the way, in your waterfront areas, in your harbors. Just far enough away from the coast that they won't cause any problems, though. It has kind of like a cool industrial like feel to it. I don't know how to explain that. I really like it, though. All right, so let's get rid of these. And we'll immediately start seeing the river clean up, which will be like amazing for our fish populations. Yeah, that's fantastic. We should have done that way sooner, eh? I feel like so many of you in the chat just had like a big weight lifted off your shoulder. You're like, I can finally watch without any problems now. Oh goodness, I'm so sorry. I was adding to your stress this whole time. My, oh my. Okay. So this is what I was saying earlier, right? Like the height of this is just so bonkers. So let's do some crazy terraforming. We've been saving our money for a while now. Let's spend it. And I'm just trying to think here. I might want to maybe do a quick little jaunt back over to the high density area and just put a few buildings down. Also, it's a good opportunity to kind of show you what was done in our little half episode. In case you guys missed that or were kind of curious. You know what, maybe this corner here is a little bit more wall-to-wall. We got the big police building, we'll have a big old park, we got the community school in here. Yeah, maybe we have a little bit more... A little bit of variety, too. Yeah, in regards to what we did in the half episode, it was just a little bit of chit-chat about bike lanes, of course the trams, we did the detailing, we converted one of these roads over. I actually connected this too, just to get some bike lanes going through for conversation's sake. And the detailing actually turned out pretty nicely. So we kind of just put through a little walking path along both sides, threw in some of this kind of stuff here and there. Where's the other one that looked out really nice? Yeah, this is really cool, right? Little seating area, hangout spot. Just little vibes like that. It was kind of nice. Very charming. So we'll have those every once in a while. Not every episode, you know. But if you want to come check it out, I'd love that. Really fun. And again, if you're not gonna, you know, if you're not really into the detail and all the little extras, you don't really miss too much. I don't really talk about any grandiose secrets or anything, so you're a-okay if you want to steer clear. All right, so just enough that we get the power going through. That should be more than enough, actually. And our goal is just really to get to 14,000. I don't really want to have to keep pointing down cemetery after cemetery after cemetery. It just gets really expensive. And so if this can kind of like maybe grow in the background, that's all good. Maybe a little bit oversized compared to the houses in the other spots, but that should be enough to get us going. Okay, holy moly, this is the fun part, terraforming. So if you're not really like comfortable, or like if you're new to terraforming, definitely save at this point, because you're gonna end up flooding stuff, especially if your city's really close to the coastline, right? So let me kind of explain what I'm doing here. I do have, for a convenience sake factor, like quality of life mod kind of improvement, I've turned on unlimited soil. That's a base game built-in mod. You can do that through your content manager. I've got unlimited soil. I also have unlimited resources, so they won't run out. What I'm doing now is I'm going to be grabbing my slope terrain tool. Doesn't really matter what size brush. I'm going to be on the biggest so I can do the big strokes here. But you see all the contour lines? And you can see the contour lines a lot more effectively if I go to our contour map. Okay, you can see all the ridges, right? So what I'm going to be doing is right-clicking, and I'm going to set the height of my brush to that ridge. So the higher up I go, you know, like the more distance, right? I don't want to go too low so we get flooding, but I'm going to maybe like a quarter of the way up. So I'm going to right-click there, and then when I push out with my left clicker, it sets a plateau to be that height. And then now when we put our you know, industry boat and that kind of stuff down, our quay walls and everything, it's not going to be that ridiculous in terms of like the height of the pier. And this is what I was talking about earlier with the flooding. Just be careful. The game treats this kind of like displacement. Think of yourself as like, you know, you're sitting in a bathtub and you just dropped a whole bunch of dirt, like a big stone or something in there, right? The water's going to make a big splishy splashy around it. And that might be enough to make a tsunami, right? So just caution. Now this part, you know, terraforming the waterfront to kind of be like in line with the rest of the city is going to be a nightmare, but we can try. Just a little simple one, right? So we know this line is in line with the rest of the city, and we know that's the other line, the parallel perpendicular. Oh my goodness, math is, it always shows, math is not my forte. But yeah, that's the line that's in line with like all the other of these ones, right? It's parallel to these lines, that's what I'm trying to say. And so if we want to shape a waterfront based on that, so we can have a quay wall that looks really good, we'll put the road down, and then let's now terraform and then meet the road. And we'll go nice and slow, we're in no rush here. And again, we can save this before, because this is extraordinarily expensive. Remember we had 400,000 credits, and now we don't? Yeah, exactly. So, like, you know, if your budget is just barely hanging on by a shoestring, do not terraform. Oh my goodness, especially on the waterfront. What if you destroy a building you can't afford to replace? Like, holy moly. All right, so I want enough room back here that we can have a little bit of industry, but we have to kind of scale so it's not like this cliff to get up, right? So what we're going to do is scrolling again through here, maybe about the halfway point, we're going to right-click and make another plateau. And keep in mind, we do want a roundabout through here that possibly connects. I still don't know. Let me know in the comments, right? So we don't want to get too close to that. Yeah, this is what we basically got, right? Plateau, plateau, and then this is the tall ground, right? So now let's connect them all together. So I'm going to right-click here, and then I'm going to left-click down here, and I'm going to just brush between the two. So we're going to go and slope these guys to meet each other. And now, when a 6-lane wide industrial road comes through, we can have it in line with the city, because our curves are pretty good. And we can have it come down not too sharply. So same idea over here. So let's right-click here, let's left-click here, and let's meet. And now we can slalom, we can curve a road and come right down. And we'll move this out a bit more. You know, maybe we want that to come out a little bit further. And at some point we kind of want to do this, right? So let's let the water settle. Just enough room to get a road possibly back there as well, and we can do some fun detailing. And then same idea, let's push. All right, now some things to be wary of. I looked ahead of time, so we are a-okay, I'm not too worried. But check this out, eh? if you scroll all the way out, see the yellow harbor lines? Don't terraform over those. This is the shipping lanes. So your boats, when you build a harbor and stuff, are going to try to connect to these. So sometimes you have to be close enough to make it the connection, right? So theoretically, if I put one of these big boats in here, when I unlock it, it might not be close enough to connect. So just kind of be aware of that when you're planning. Don't spend all your money and time only to find this out after, you know? But there are mods you can download to create your own harbor lanes. Anyway, just that's kind of the whole takeaway. Just don't go over top of those, so the boats will be kind of silly. Anyway, so now what we're going to do, right, is we want to replace our roads with the quaywalls. And this is more or less in the line direction of the city. Yeah, we're not going to get this perfect, but we're going to do our darndest here. We're going to try our best. And you know what we could do still, actually, is we could put that road back in. This is going to be crazy talk. The quaywalls are going to have that same function where they'll line up. See how they'll come up with the snappers and stuff? So now we can be perfectly... Oh, yeah. There we go, eh? That's what I'm talking about. Not bad. And this one can just be whatever. Let's see how we can get that. Yeah. Put on 3-speed, let the water sort itself out. Oh, that's perfect. That's great. Get rid of this, of course. That was horrifying. Cool. Like, actually really cool. And then, we'll push a little bit more of this out. We just don't have that tile yet. Worst case scenario, it stays like that. Doesn't look too bad. And then in the areas where your quay wall kind of meets the world, put down some rocks and stuff, right? And these things here, these are really cool to use on the cliff sides because they stretch. Variety is our spice of life. But if you want more than just kind of like a generic cliffside, definitely throw down some rocks, right? Just for the moment we hold our spot like that. Doesn't have to be too crazy, right? Just kind of like, shows where and why the quay wall's got to end, maybe. But we'll figure more of that out when we get more of this terraform. It's just so expensive, right? So I'm not gonna do it now. We'll leave the road, so I don't have to put that down a third time. And let's grab some of our fishing stuff. Oh, amazing! Amazing. Okay, as the pollution goes, look at the fishing. Look at the schools of fish moving. Oh, dudes, we did it. Oh, that's so cool. No way! Oh my god, that's so cool. I don't know why that's so cool, but that is so cool to me. All right. Yeah, so the different depth, different flows and everything will affect the different types of fish, what we're optimal for, and then the pollution as it goes. Look at that. Just open the fishing lanes right up. That's really exciting. Just like in real life, Okay, so now that we know this is in line with the city, we are very comfortable to drop one of these down. This guy is the fishing farm, which will help create the fishies. Looks really fun too. And you'll kind of notice, like, the quay walls have their own, like, buffer zone. You can only get so close to them. And it's kind of weird. Like, you'll feel it when you're doing it yourself, and you'll know what I mean. Let's find a way to connect all this up. Let's bring the main road in first. Arterial roads are the important ones anyway. So just for the moment, until we figure out our, like, roundabout situation, let's come in like this. Yeah, let's just keep, yeah. I'm gonna not overcomplicate that for the moment. And let's just do a nice little gentle slalom here. And because this is the arterial main road, I'm going to kind of put it in like sort of the middle so we have some room to zone off it and run like a parallel road just kind of behind it. And then this road isn't stained, so we don't have to worry about being too close to it, but that's going to be, I think, the main corridor road like that. Yep. And I'm going to just do my best to line that up. It actually might not look too bad just like that. Better like that. There we go. And we're just going to do the old eyeball here, mark one eyeball. Visual check to make sure that we're not too offensive in the slopes. These are our heavy-duty truck friends. They don't want these crazy 24% grades. They're like, oh my god, I'm burning up my clutch here. No, none of that, please. That's not bad. Nice and smooth. Works. And then again, this will kind of like tie in. We'll have like a roundabout or something down here too. This will tie into this highway that just kind of wraps, right? So that's how this whole, like, the Porter Washington Parkway kind of works. The idea is you can bypass, get in through the city. We'll have multiple ways in and out through it. So it's just kind of a fun way to get around. We're not going to jam up our side streets with cars. We'll leave those for the buses and whatnot. And then our goal would be to like make our public transit network the most like, you know, time effective, cost effective measure, right? Who wants to spend 2 or 3 hours in traffic? I don't. So there we go. Now, in terms of power for the moment, why don't we put down one of these guys? They're kind of fun. It's a wind turbine that also gets water turbine power generated. So they have a maximum output of 20, which is really cool. They look fun on the waterfront. Green energy as well. Okay, these, I mean, oh boy, you know, this kind of stuff, oh boy. It's very challenging. I mean, we could re-terraform this till the cows come home, of course. We'd probably get it right, but for the sake of, like, not boring you guys too much, you know, maybe throw down some rocks or something, I don't know. This kind of stuff, I don't know. I might maybe come back and fix it. I'm still on the fence. This is the only thing about vanilla, you know. I wish there was a way to kind of improve this. Like raising and lowering the terrain a little bit more easily, you know. That's kind of what the movement mod is for. And there will be a time where I probably will introduce it. I just want to get a lot of this city built without having to use mods. So that, you know, when we're way down the road and the city's like pretty much built up, I want to just have that, like, you know, the pride to be able to say, yeah, we did it. You know, it is doable if you want to try it yourself. Mods definitely improve quality of life, that's for certain. But, you know, not everyone has them, right? So let's just try and see what we can do. But I've had some, like, really friendly suggestions being like, Imperial, have you heard of the movement mod? So save your day. Yeah, I've heard. It's the greatest thing ever. Movement mod's probably my Desert Island mod. My second mod that I would bring to the Desert Island if I was allowed a second would be the Traffic President mod. So the Traffic Manager President Edition. That is a beautiful thing. So at some point, maybe the movement mod. I'm not being like 100% on that, but at some point, you know, maybe. And I think our goal still would be to like unlock as much of a vanilla city. So milestones, buildings, that kind of stuff, unique buildings. We're gonna try to do all that without the help of mods or anything.
What does it feel like to drive a cloud?
Okay, I'm just gonna change our radio station.
What does it feel like to steer a river? What does it
Let's do Surviving Mars. Yeah, I'll use the industrial roads a bit more frequently down here too. I think they're really cool. Not bad. Not bad at all. All right, so how do you do the routes? That's a good question, right? So you can see our dude right here. It needs a route to it. There's no real like route control over here. How does that work? Where are you going? So let's click over on our industry tab. We're on the fishing, and we're gonna find our routes, which is just right over here. And again, the different colors represent the different types of fish, right? Water pollution, we want to steer clear of that. We know this is going to go away, so I think we're okay to go through it. And then the last thing is just like harbor traffic, right? You don't really want to like clip too often in front of these boats because they'll kind of like unrealistic, you know? So maybe we can steer clear of them. So what's something that our boats would probably do, right? They probably sneak in and around some islands. Let's click back on our fishies. Oh, the coolest thing too, by the way, is you can go outside of your city zone with your fishies. Downside, of course, is you cannot move the camera too much further outside of the zone, so it's kind of like as far as you can see. See how I'm too close there? See how that's going to clip? That's a no-go. So to backtrack and get rid of your routes, just click back on the building, click delete. It's a little bit odd how they did it, but I think it maybe was interfering with something else, so they had to do it this way. But yeah, now that we know, let's steer clear. Let's go in between here. And that pollution ain't going to be a problem. And my goal is just to kind of cross over and maybe get as many types of fish as possible. A little bit of harbor traffic through here. Skirt by the coast, get some more types of fish as well. And the pollution, don't fret, just grows for a minute, don't fret, it's going away. And so once we complete the route, we'll see the boats start going. And then, even though I was drawing it out left to right, they actually go right to left. And so our little boats, and this is why I wanted to terraform, right? It's still pretty tall relative to the height of the boats, but before it would have been just like, holy smokes, you know? That was pretty nice. And these guys here help generate and spawn fish. So, good stuff. And the fish are being like grown in air quotes in there, right? And then what this does, right, is this allows raw goods to be sold at market. And that's all we need now is a market. This part of town a little bit more built up already. Maybe in here. Kind of a crossover between industry as well. And then let's try and terraform this so it looks a little bit nicer. This is a very frequent thing that happens, right, when you're mixing the zones together. So what we can do is just the gentle terraform. We're on the slope and see what kind of happens. Well, that slope was a smooth. Softened slope. No, the next one is slope. So that doesn't look all that great. I would make that argument, right? So if we're going to keep it, if we're you know, fixed on having it here, we can put in the fencing, hide this bit here with the trees. Right? This is more of a industrial style property. So they'd for sure have their own kind of like gated access. You know, this is expensive stuff, right? All these hundreds of dollars of fish, maybe thousands of dollars in fish even. So we're going to fence it in, and then we're going to hide the imperfections of the fence and the property along this with trees. And let's just keep an eye on the noise pollution. Some of these buildings, yeah, a little noisy, right? And so what we can do, we do want fish market kind of close to our people, is we got the office boundary right here, doing a little bit of blockage. But if we were to upgrade this road to have the trees in it, that'll help a little bit more with the sound as well. And so now, stuff that's getting caught by those boats will get brought right to market here. And then we can benefit from the tax. Let's make a little bit of money from the production, and our people get fresh fish. Not too bad, not too bad. I'd say this part here is kind of the worst, so let's do the most trees there. Trees, man, they help so much, eh? And I'll probably just terraform, like once we start zoning, the buildings might affect this anyway, but let's maybe terraform a little bit out, you know? And then same idea. You know, and observe the area. If what you've done, the hill-wise is so silly the way they're parking, move it, no problem. Totally move it. The bigger buildings like to be on flatter areas, you know, so maybe use that kind of knowledge for future as well. Okay, that's really cool. Looks kind of nice there as well. And then from a factory perspective, we would put the cannery over here in our you know, factory area, right? And this will get sent out to the region and to our commercial zones. So this is also just a way for us to increase our tax flow, tax revenue. All of this is temporary, so I'm not going to worry too much about the detailing and zoning. Traffic's kind of working against this too, so I might upgrade a couple of these roads to 6-laners. Yeah, we just need a change over here. It's a-coming. We know it. Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad at all. Good little start down here. A little bit of harbor traffic even. The waterway super cleaned up finally, right? Finally. That's neat, coming down like that. And this gives us a chance, you know, just to kind of put like a little side street in here too. The speed limit is lower on this skinnier street, so presumably our truck should stay to the wider one, right? And it's really good if we want to zone off here to have these little points where the vehicles can turn around. That way they don't have to like go all the way down the hill just to like leave the harbor zone, right? Or whatever you want to call this area. So yeah, wider roads, higher speed limits, more flow. People should only use this if they want to stop. But this is where we can do some like, you know, commercial zoning, little boundary point between. We could have some offices, could have a little bit of factories in here. This is probably gonna be a disaster. What are we doing this for? But yeah, it's nice, nice little start over here. I think the main thing though is I'm really happy the water's cleaned up. That's great. That'll help so much with screenshots and cinematics. It's kind of hard to sell, you know, the city when everything looks so so terrible, you know. No, didn't do a good job of spacing there, but that's okay. And then another fun thing you can do is like have big industrial power lines run to and from the waterfront, right? Maybe have that run along the coast even. And we'll connect all this up, I think, a little bit later, but I think we're getting the idea here. Not a bad little start at all. All right, guys, well, I think I'll leave you there. I think this is, yeah, not bad. Let me know what you think. And definitely let me know your thoughts on this whole thing. And my really convoluted, crazy question was, do we want this road here to continue through with the highway interchange? It'll continue through no matter what. And that'll connect up over to here. But do we want the highway interchange here for 4-way traffic? Or do we want this one to stay a trumpet or become the 4-way? If this becomes the 4-way, then this is just a regular connection. So it's a very complicated question. I hope I'm asking that correctly, but you let me know in the comments. Or also help me word that better, you know? Anyway, guys, I will see you again. Thank you very much, as always, for your support. Wonderful to have you with us. And this is serious. I cannot wait to keep going with this, guys. We're having so much fun. And hope these ideas are really helping with your own cities, too. Always love seeing the screenshots. Some of you are so talented. I swear, some of you are so much better at this game than me. You just don't even know it yet. Or you just got to get that, like, you know, get the thought process out on paper. You'll see it. Honestly, you guys will be blowing my butts here. Blowing me away. Blowing my butts. What does that even mean? I don't even know. But yeah, you guys are wonderful. Stay creative, stay positive. Hope you're having a great time building. I'll see you in the next episode. Drop me a comment. Hope you're having a great day. Adios, my friends.